Alright, this video is going to be about drawing circles. You may encounter a compass. This is a smaller compass, okay, and then here I have a larger compass, and they also make a beam attachment, which this is the beam here, and it goes in place of the point on this one, and you can make it for a larger circle. You're not going to see these very often anymore, but you may, run across them. And a couple of rules on them is that you want to draw your center line to give you the location of it, and then mark your radius somewhere either on your paper or off to the side on your paper. I'll mark a 1-inch radius here. It's always best to set your compass to a measurement on the paper as opposed to setting it against the ruler, because you can get a more accurate measurement on the paper and you don't get your lead on the ruler. So you want to get it fairly close, and then put your point in the center mark, and then kind of make you a couple of tests to see if you need to adjust it. And when you draw with a compass, do not hold it straight up, and don't try to hold it here at the top and twirl it. You want to lean it so that you're kind of dragging the lead around the circle with you, and you don't want to push down. You don't want to push down on it, and you just kind of drag it around as you go. If the radius is much smaller, you're going to use a smaller compass like this one. And when you are drawing, you don't really want to hold down here, because you don't want to be pulling on the legs or pushing on the legs. You really want to do everything here. Okay, the compasses, the lead on them, when you sharpen them, and let's see if I can zoom that down a little bit. You can see it should be sharpened like a chisel point, okay, not a conical point like a wood pencil would be, but a flat chisel point, because we use a sandpaper block to sharpen these. And I don't have one laying out right now, but it's just a little block of wood with some sheets of sandpaper on it, and you use that to sharpen your point with. Okay. Most what you're going to see for drawing circles is going to be a circle template, and they come in a variety of sizes. This one will go from 1/16 inch up to 3-inch diameter, and they'll have millimeters, or this particular one has millimeters marked on it also. They do make some that are just straight metric, and some are just straight inches with no metric references. But you can always take a conversion chart, like what you have in the textbook, to convert fractions, decimals of an inch to metric, and vice versa. So the way that these work, you notice that they all have index marks on the circles. And so you would line that up with your center lines. And I'm having to look around my camera here. And then you use a mechanical pencil to draw around them. And as as we'll see when we get into the drawings here, I usually don't, if I can, I usually don't draw my circles until near the end of the drawing, so that I only have to draw them once and I darken them in at that same time. And if you're, same thing, if you're just doing a rounded corner, let's go with a larger diameter here. If you're doing like a rounded corner for a fillet or something like that, you still need your center marks. And so you would line them up, and then you just draw the quadrant that you would need for that arc. And of course, these things have to be cleaned occasionally, so you make sure you don't get your lead on them. Okay, so that's how we draw arcs and circles.